Hi, I'm Barbara Wainwright from Wainwright Global Institute of Professional Coaching, and I'm here with Linda CALLECOD, and I'm delighted to introduce you to her. She has been a certified professional coach for quite a while now, and just welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a delight to be able to be here with you.
Thank you. So, Linda, would you share with us what was it that made you decide to become a certified professional coach?
Well, believe it or not, I never decided to be a certified professional coach.
That's great.
And it wasn't even a thought. It never showed up anywhere in my thinking, in my desires, in my dream. However, what I discovered was that's what I had always been doing.
Oh,
And so the certification came as a result of what I had been doing anyway for a long time, but now it had a name.
nice, nice. That's great. That makes complete sense to me. Is you've been doing it forever, and then all of a sudden, oh, that's what it's called.
Right. And it's really funny, Barbara, because there's certain things, you know how you have a plan, you have a vision for your life. I had one really early, and I wanted to be a Broadway musical comedy star.
Wow.
And I wanted to sing and dance and be on stage and perform. But as we know, life has its own course.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of redirections that I think was instrumental in me doing what I'm doing now. And the first was when I was 12.
Wow.
I played the piano and I taught piano lessons to the kids in my neighborhood. It
Wow.
gave me a little extra change, but an amazing thing happened. As I taught piano and coached my young students, my skills got better. So I was a better pianist because I was teaching somebody else. Then just before I turned 13, I had another turn and I was asked, believe it or not, to be the director of the Vacation Bible School at my church. And I remember talking to my pastor's wife and I said, you know I'm a kid, right? I can't do this because I'm a kid. And she said, you've been coming to these things for years. We don't have any adults who have stepped up. I'm sure you can do it. We're going to give you lots of support. Don't worry, you're not going to be by yourself. And in essence, she offered me coaching.
Wow.
And so that summer, I worked with these adults who were a lot more experienced, but I learned about team building. I learned about leadership. I learned about building relationships and partnerships. And that began a turn. I still wanted to be an actress, but it was a little bit of a taste of something else that was just as rewarding. So I fell into the practice and the habit of working with others, teaching others. And if I can, I get excited about this, so forgive me for that.
I
But
love it. No, nothing to forgive. It's awesome. I love the energy.
um, well, because I love what I do, and that's how I wind up stumbling into things. Well, I was a musician. I took piano lessons and voice lessons and played 5 instruments. And my dad sent me to art school, and I did all these things because I love the arts. Well, every artist that I know that's worth their salt has had hours and hours and years of what? Coaching. That's how you get to be good.
That's right.
And so we know how to receive it. We know how to integrate it. We know how to ask for it. And through the process of the years, you learn how to give it and you learn how to be a coach, even though we don't put a title to it. It is what you do. And so as a musician, I was coaching and I never had a name to it. In fact, when I was growing up, and as it turns out, my dad said, no, I couldn't be an actress. I had to choose another profession. He said, nah, not going to happen. So I decided to be a teacher. Well,
Nice.
I knew that you could earn a living being a teacher.
Mhm.
But at the time, if you were not in sports, coaching wasn't a profession.
That's right.
not going to talk about what year that was, but if
Thank you.
yeah, it wasn't an option. It was something that people in sports, professionals, men, did at a certain level in their career. So it never crossed my mind. And so when I said I didn't plan it, I wasn't drawn to it, it's because it didn't even have a place in my mind. So that's a long way of answering the question, but there you go.
Yeah, but great answer. Great answer. It just was a natural unfolding for you.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful. So what genre of coaching do you really prefer to coach in?
Well, I'm going to answer that with a philosophy and a story, if that's okay.
I love that.
Because it's not necessarily a pinpoint at a particular place, but again, an outgrowth of a style. So after I was teaching, and I'm a teacher, so that is part of what I do, and I taught junior high, but I wound up in retail, and because of my teaching skills, I wound up in HR. So I did a lot of teaching, I did a lot of consulting as an HR professional.
Wow.
So my coaching clients, watch this, my coaching clients came out of people who were in my classes.
Wow.
And also people who were attending, because I've done some keynotes, etc. And so the topics of my classes and my keynotes were leadership, team development,
Nice.
interpersonal skills, and how to succeed in a corporate organizational environment. So that's my genre, because that is how the coaching evolved as what I do with a title now.
Nice. Well, that's a really great place to be. In corporate leadership coaching is really a great place to be, and so needed.
Exactly.
So needed, because there's so many, I'll say, project managers or management staff that really need the skills and the tools that you can provide them as a coach. So really important.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I'm very grateful for. I am a strong believer and proponent of using everything you have in the work that you do and in the life that you live. So my background is in music education and performance, go figure. So one of the things that I had a lot of experience with was directing choirs. I was in band, I was in orchestra, I was in all these ensembles.
Yeah.
So I understand team dynamics and how to get the best out, the best sound, the best performance out of an ensemble or a team. So the work that I do with teams comes directly from my experience with working with bands and choirs and orchestras as a director leader in that arena.
That's really great, because when you are in an orchestra or a band, everybody has to be in sync. Everybody has to be playing to the right beat of the drum. The end result is dependent on everybody, right?
Exactly.
So you bring that concept into the work environment and make music, right?
And you know what, Barbara, what I do for individuals, because I work with individuals, but I do a lot of work with the whole team. And so what I do is I help them find their music, find their place, see how what they do fits into the bigger picture, and then how to develop their giftings, their talents, and demonstrate and manifest their passion in the work environment. I just love this stuff.
I love that. I love how that just so plays so beautifully into teamwork and development, and seeing how their role impacts another role and how it needs to play and blend together. It's great. That's great. I love the way I love the way that that's all come together for you so organically, right? From your childhood, being in that arena, to becoming a teacher, to folding it all together and working with leadership. Beautiful. Really beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have a story, a coaching success story that you'd like to share with us?
Actually, I do. And I'm going to use my story and with a friend, a coach, but someone that I highly admire. And I'm going to use his name. His name is Brian Walter. He is magnificent in his skill, but also what he gave me as a gift. I'm going to call it as a coaching gift. Now, when I first entered into retail, I was a sales associate and doing okay, but wasn't really the career path. And I ran into Brian, and he was in the training department. And I asked Brian, I said, how do I get your job? And he laughed. He says, you mean you want my story? I said, no, no, no. I need you to tell me my story because I know that you're going to move on. And I want to know how I get your job when you move on. And he laughed. He says, okay. And he told me something that I have passed on and used that I think changed my life. He reminded me of a concept, a principle of sowing and reaping. And what he said to me, he says, Linda, if you will elevate and help others to succeed and excel and be their best, they in turn will return that gift and they will elevate and promote you in what it is you want to accomplish. So I took it on as a challenge. I mean, I knew the concept, but I hadn't applied it to the work environment because in the environment that I was working in, it was whatever you know, keep it to yourself because every man for himself in a mindset of lack and not a mindset of plenty. So I started taking his advice, like I said, as a challenge. And I found ways to recognize my peers. I started writing articles for our corporate news magazine and letter. And I would find ways of bringing recognition and praise. Well, needless to say, everybody wanted to take me to lunch to tell me their story. So I got really popular. And I did. I used my writing skills because I did a lot of writing as part of the fine arts. I used my writing skills to elevate others. Then they were coming and asking what they could do to get better. So I started coaching, I was writing articles. And then the editor of the magazine came and he said, we want to know who you are. We're getting all of these articles from this person we don't know. And so they wrote an article about me. Long story short, Barbara, it took me from being a sales associate part-time to a vice president in only a handful of years. Wow. Using that advice. And Brian, my friend, who I just dearly love, has been by my side in terms of coaching, mentoring, and just providing sound wisdom and advice for all these years. And that is the one thing that I also pass on when people don't know what to do and they get stuck. And he says, well, stop looking inward, take what you have, and then pass it on. And that has been very successful.
Yeah, what a really great thing that you had such a mentor, you know, to be there and help you with those things and give you those are hot tips, like hot tips, right? For living life, you know, for living life and being
absolutely.
Wow, what a blessing that is. That's really a blessing.
It is. Absolutely, it is.
So those are you've already given some really good takeaways from this interview. Do you have anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, if anything, I would say share your truth, live your truth, and ask for help when you need it, accept it and receive it when it comes. Because a lot of times the help comes, it shows up at our doorstep when we need it.
Nice.
But if we do this and we can't hear it and can't receive it, then our life can't be enriched. And that's the work that you and I do. Yeah. We help to enrich someone else's life so that they can achieve what their heart's desire is. So receive it when it comes and ask for it when you need it. would be probably my words from the wise.
That's really great advice. And I'll just say that I know that asking for help can be difficult for some people, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
and then receiving help can also be very difficult for some people.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
And for
those,
those, and here's the thing too, Barbara, for those of us who do coach and who do care and who are mentors, probably the advice to us is let the person find their own truth rather than telling them what that is.
oh, absolutely. I agree with that too. You know, your truth needs to come from inside of you. That's it. Bottom line.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it.
Yeah. Wow, Linda, it has been so great interviewing you today. I just
Thank
thank you.
you.
Yeah, thank you so much for showing up, for being you, for your great stories and your great advice. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Absolutely my joy, my pleasure. Thank you,
thank
Barbara.
thank you, Linda. All right.